me, for an hour.
Yeah,
Did you just turn into a sim?
Moochie Peachy.
So true.
For.
Have a short.
Damn, I don't know. Jackson's spitting straight facts.
Warned about Snarly, but
Yo, Professor!
Yeah!
Professor!
Alright,
Professor!
Today we are going to talk about the tragedy of Owl City.
Tragedy.
And
Tragedy!
this is a story that is all the more heartbreaking because it starts out so freaking innocently. So we're just going to jump right in. It is the early 2000s, the towers have just fallen,
Oh my
and
god.
our main character is
Starts out so innocently.
Adam Young. He is 16, and he is a indie musician. Now this is a very good time to be a young indie musician because this is the time where like music programs that sound vaguely professional are on every school computer. So anyone with some basic music theory knowledge, free time, and a laptop can make a dance hit.
Cool.
Adam Young is in a very conservative, super Christian family. He lives in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and he has no friends and no siblings.
Oh.
Very alone. So, when he started producing music, something that really seemed different about him is that he didn't sound like another Daft Punk or Radiohead wannabe. He didn't have that, like, anger and loud bass drops and screeching, like, vocals and loud synths that you tended to get from that kind of scene and those kind of people. It was very, very four-chordy. It was very, very poppy. The lyrics were kind of like poetry, middle schooly, and it had a very dreamy air to it. And most of the songs were about, like, they were about love. They weren't about, like, standard, like, men fantasizing about being 25 and getting laid in the club. It was more like, it's 6th grade and you're my first crush, so I'm passing a note to you in class. And it was really, really cute. So, all he did pretty much was make music because he had no friends and this was the only way he expressed himself. So from like 16 to 20-ish, this is all stuff he made.
Oh.
What are they? Like.
Each one of these is a band. Most of them have multiple albums under them and multiple EPs.
Oh wait, so these are just different, like, pseudonyms he went under?
Yes.
Okay.
The only one that was an actual band was Aquarium. That was with other people, and he was too socially anxious and couldn't keep that together, so he ended up leaving.
God, I hate him.
He left his own
bully him.
band.
It's now known that he may or may not have had Asperger's, but definitely had those tendencies, and his parents were very against him being diagnosed.
Oh. Sorry, Anna.
So, yeah, he graduates high school, he has no friends, he wasn't really able to get into college, so he gets a dead-end job working at a Coca-Cola plant, working as a night janitor.
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes home for hours, makes these music, and releases them into the void. One day, in 2007, he makes a pseudonym called Owl City, and releases Of June on MySpace. Now this is the first time people really start hearing Owl City, and it's this really unique, dreamy sound that's unlike the MySpace angry young man music scene at the time.
Yep.
And so this blows up. Then he releases Maybe I'm Dreaming, about the same amounts. Now your average person in 2007, 2008 will have never heard of these albums. But if you're in like the synth pop, dream pop scene, you've heard of them. Then a record company notices that this random 16-year-old in Iowa is building up a lot of traction, and they're like, hey, young 16-year-old superstar, this is material, right? So they bring him in, and they're like, look, we're going to make you a star.
A whole $100 for all of my music? Where do I sign, Mr.
Yeah,
Barry
pretty much.
Gordy?
And at this point, again, he's 22, so he is no college, night janitor job, living in his parents' basement, so he's like, sure, I'll sign on anything. And it turns out what they wanted him to do was to be like this Justin Bieber kind of clone.
Uh-oh.
Justin Bieber was now, yeah, they wanted like a very front-facing, singing about partying and how much she loves like 20-year-old girls, but really 14-year-old girls. And this didn't work for Adam Young for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm gonna be honest, his vocals kind of suck. Now, it's not like he's bad at singing or lacks the talent. It's just that his voice never really hit puberty and it doesn't get better as it goes on. So he has this really weird, high-pitched, kind of nasally sound that just doesn't work with anything serious.
He like talks. Like he talks more. It feels like he talks more than he sings.
Yeah, a little bit. also, he is super, super Christian. And so anything about clubbing and partying coming out of his mouth just doesn't land, and he's super uncomfortable with it. And so he went up to the record people and was like, look, this isn't gonna work. And you hired me, right? Well, I released these two things, and they were kind of innocent and dream poppy, and people liked them. So how about you just let me do my thing and see if it works? And they went, you know what? Fuck it, kid. Go ahead. He releases Ocean Eyes, and Fireflies comes out and plays on every fucking radio in the entire United States 24/7.
Let's go.
And Fireflies was really the epitome of everything that wasn't cringy about Owl City. It's this really sweet childhood, dreamy feeling about going and exploring but being weird, and then the music video comes out, and the music video is him sitting in his room with all of his toys coming to life around him. And it reminds you of when you're 8 and you're like, have to go to bed and the lights are out, but you're not asleep yet, so you look around the room and look at all your different toys and play with them in your mind, because that's the only thing you can do to not be bored. And it has all of that energy, and it clicked with so many people. And so the record company went, wow, okay, this project that we poured like, what, $200 into, because he wrote Ocean Eyes in his parents' basement still, made a lot of money, so let's promote the next song. The next song they promote is called Vanilla Twilight on this album. Vanilla Twilight is about your love of your life dying.
Oh my god.
And it's sad. And it's so sad. And I can't handle it, it's so sad.
How much money did Fireflies make?
Millions.
How much did he make from that?
We'll get to that, but a lot.
Okay.
He didn't get fucked over yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I love music.
So, Vanilla Twilight's like really, really sad, and the music video is like a weird coded video about the rapture. Because it's like filmed in his hometown. And it's like that artsy thing where they show people from all walks of life. There's like young white people, and old white people, and rich white people, and poor white people. And then there's also a black guy. So it starts with all of them looking sad, shot for shot, and then the next is shot for shot, all of them look up at the sky, and this is 2 minutes of each character is doing these two things. They reuse footage, and then at the end, they look up, and it's like a beam of light shining down, and they're all really excited, and some of them start making like these church poses,
Yeah.
and this one guy starts shouting like, thank the Lord, but they take out the audio so it's just him screaming it. And this is matched with lyrics about how sad it is that like your wife is dead. When I look at my hands, I feel sad because the spaces between my fingers are right where yours fit perfectly.
Oh my god.
Matched with a man screaming, praise the Lord. So this didn't do well. It got no radio play, it got no views. I remember when I was really little and this came out, because my mom was tired of me playing Fireflies on loop. She was like, maybe you should listen to other music this guy makes. And she put on Vanilla Twilight, the like video, and I looked at it and went, what the fuck is this shit? I'm never gonna listen to another song from Owl City again.
And then you made a lecture about it. I noticed, by the way, that we're only on album 3.
Yeah. So, where did this song come from? Because this is very thematically different than everything else Adam Young has written, pretty much. Because one of the things I didn't mention, and one of the reasons I love Adam Young, is that he writes songs in the weirdest stuff. Like, there's one in Sky Sailing about his celebrity crush on Audrey Hepburn.
Amazing.
There's one about how much he loves going to the dentist.
What?
There's one about why you shouldn't drink and drive.
Yeah.
There's one about how, like, birds and worms and sea creatures are really, really cool.
Have you listened to these songs?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, this was...
Are they good songs?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Was
Yes.
the dentist one an ad?
No.
What did you write that was an ad?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We're gonna get to a lot, aren't we?
As you do in Shock University lectures.
As you do.
When you ask questions in the first 7 minutes of a lecture, you're gonna run into some walls. There's a narrative here. You have to go with the flow. Okay. So where did this come from? It turns out, remember when I said he had no friends in high school?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't quite true. He had one friend.
Okay.
His girlfriend,
Oh.
who died in a drunk driving incident.
Oh.
Now you're getting why he writes so much about young love.
Mm.
So that's why
That kind of makes me sad.
And
It makes
she
me
was not the
sad.
drunk driver. She was killed by the drunk driver.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that even if it happens when you're young, like that just sticks with you, dude.
Yeah.
I feel really bad.
Yeah,
And then
the first,
there's
like,
other songs. Oh,
the first 3 times I've heard him tell this story, it made me sad too.
First 3 times.
So there's other songs in Ocean Eyes that are a lot darker once
Actually,
you have
like
this
4.
context. Like there's one song where he like is outside and cold, and there's this woman sitting on the bench with him, and he gives her jacket, and they end up having their like honeymoon phase, first dating, and they're singing to each other like, "You're amazing. This is good. Like this is actually good. How can this go wrong?" And then Adam Young comes in the vocals and sings "Just Wait, Only Time."
Oh.
Oopsies.
Alright. So, he makes a shit ton of money because of Fireflies pretty much single-handedly. And the love of his life has died, and he's still not over it, and he's famous out of nowhere.
So when I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the timeline right. Did he make Fireflies like after the girlfriend
Yeah.
incident? Okay.
Girlfriends that happened about 16, and getting famous and all this
I was
happened
like
when he was
22.
22.
Okay.
But the details between this period are vague, so a lot of it is like in the same paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So the first thing he does, because he still has no friends, is he uses his money to buy a house in the same neighborhood as his parents so he can keep going to the same church.
Okay.
And then he starts working on his own passion projects, and he finally accepts that he can't do vocals. And so these 3 are all instrumental bands. Adam Young scores is him creating film scores to stuff he liked if he was able to write film scores to them. Port Blue and Swimming with Dolphins have no cohesive anything behind them. They're just, hey, I have this music program and I made cool sounding noises. And my favorite album from Port Blue is a concept album based off this obscure Canadian sci-fi book he read and thought was really cool. He'll also write stuff based off like post-CCs on DeviantArt.
Wait, your favorite? Is Port
Favorite Port Blue album.
Did he write Airplanes too?
He did not. Well, he did, but not the airplane you're thinking of. Alright. Next thing. During this time, he stayed in the same hotel as Taylor Swift for a publicity event.
Swag.
And there was a paparazzi who got pictures of both of them, and then came up with this article saying that Taylor Swift's newest song was asking Adam Young out. He is 22 and stupid and doesn't know that this is bullshit. So he gets the right to do a cover of one of her songs in the single leading up to his next album. He changes the words from you to Taylor, and at the end asks Taylor Swift out on a date.
Oh no!
She publicly
I can't fucking stand this.
she just ghosts him, and he like gets really like awkward about it in interviews because this is the first time he's like stepping outside of like the 16-year-old girlfriend dying thing.
From 16-year-old girlfriend dying to Taylor Swift ghosting me.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better.
On that brighter note, this is the golden age of the Owl City fandom. One of the reasons that these two attracted so much attention is because they had this weird positive vibe that you didn't find other places on the internet. There were no mean comments. At all. Even though the music was kind of cringy at times, people would sit there and encourage him and encourage each other, and it was people helping each other ask out their middle school crushes, and it was this really sweet environment.
Aww.
Now, because these were released on MySpace, nobody knew they existed, so the record company re-released them and made money off them again. So after Ocean Eyes, immediately, the people who got really into Fireflies and went down the Owl City fandom trail got 2 new albums.
Aww.
Now, there's a common misconception that Owl City was great in Ocean Eyes and then musically got worse after that because he didn't know as much and just got lucky. The truth is, most of the songs people in the fandom remember coming after Ocean Eyes are actually written before, and that's why they sound like less refined versions of the one in this album.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun fact for those of you who know something about Owl City out there. Alright. This is also the period in which Owl City starts gaining a lot of weight. It starts by like posting jokes that are very like 14-year-old girl Tumblr-esque, where like, I love Oreos, takes a picture of an Oreo, and then he gets a sponsor deal with Oreo and just sings about Oreo puns and how much he loves eating them and how they've solved all the world's problems. Or like, today I tried to do a push-up, but then did one and was like, no thank you. So, All Things Bright and Beautiful comes out. Most of these songs are him, like, being upset that Taylor Swift broke up with him. Or one where he's... yeah. There's one where he says that, every time someone breaks up and love is lost, that's a celebration because love is stupid.
Or
Mind you, he has this really positive feeling like community, right? So nobody catches on to these lyrics. In the comments of these songs where he's talking about how love is inherently worthless, people will type like, so inspiring, love the dream vibes. And there's this weird dissonance. Also, the music videos for this came out, and Owl City had gained a lot of weight in 2 years. Like, I didn't recognize him when these videos came out. Also worth noting, Fireflies is the only good music video this man makes in his entire career. One of these videos is supposed to be post-apocalyptic New York, but it's just showing pictures of what is clearly New York, and they're just moving people out of it. And then Owl City stands there, surrounded by people who are like Hollywood skinny, so he looks extra fat. And he's not really overweight, he's like slightly more overweight than your average middle-aged white dad, but it looks really bad. And nothing's happening cinematically. There's one where he like goes to a convenience store and a deer is there and he just hangs out and sings at the deer.
okay.
So this album fails. There's not a single song on it that gets any radio attention. He loses pretty much all mainstream relevance because people kind of just got tired of the toxic positivity and he fell into obscurity.
Aww.
Then Satan came over to help him in the form of Disney.
What?
So, Disney, he was really into working on his instrumental projects at this point. Because that's what was honestly better and he was getting more fulfillment out of. So he was in the works to do all of the instrumental stuff for Disney's Park and Big Parade in 2016. Which he did do, and it is very good. But Disney was like, you know what, you've got a name attached to you. We can make more money off of you. So how about, on top of doing the parade, you sing a little song for this new movie we have coming out called Wreck-It Ralph.
No!
When Can I See You Again comes out, smash hit, and they have to do a music video for it, right? But Disney explains to him that he's too fat to be in a music video.
Yeah.
So in about a year, he loses 100 pounds.
Jesus.
Fuck!
It's
Wait,
ridiculous.
Was it healthily?
Probably, we don't know the details, but like, he lost way too much weight in way too short of a time for that to have been healthy.
With my knowledge of how people lose weight in Hollywood, he either had like a starvation diet or like a liquids only diet.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
It's fucking cool.
So
And
yeah, it
also,
was very cool.
When Can I See You Again is basically a song about people in their early 20s hanging out at a club and liking each other. And notice how he so awkwardly talks around any party elements in the song. Because he's super uncomfortable mentioning or even alluding to alcohol.
Yeah.
So after When Can I See You comes out again, the only other song any of you know from Owl City more than likely comes out, Good Times with Carly Rae Jepsen. This is another song that is about being 20, waking up and getting drunk as fuck with your friends and having a good time. Notice how he wakes up at noon but just doesn't mention anything about a hangover. Or any shot in the music video that has alcohol Adam Young mysteriously isn't in.
Didn't he also work on another movie?
In this time, between this interval, he worked on a movie about owls, and it's this really sweet song. What's the name of the movie again?
Owls of Gahul.
Yeah, Owl City made a song for Owls of Gahul simply because Owl was in the name and people liked him and it was a cute crossover. But that movie didn't really become culturally relevant and Owl City got no cachet out of it.
Yeah, I've never.
Fun fact, that movie was directed by Zack fucking Snyder. Where's Zack Snyder W?
Replace Hans Zimmer with Adam Young. He needs work. He needs something to go well in his life. You'll just see his work.
He did Suicide Squad.
Yes.
All the DC movies that I don't like.
The bad DC movies, yeah. Because James Gunn did the good Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Alright. Oh yeah, James Gunn's Suicide Squad was actually really good.
It
The
was!
second one?
The Suicide Squad as opposed to
That's a
Suicide
whole
Squad.
other
It's a
one.
reboot, yeah.
Alright, so these two songs come out and they make a lot of money. And all of a sudden Owl City's like relevant again and he's like, shit, I need to like get on my career. And so he comes up with Midsummer Station as his next album. Yes.
Did Wreck-It Ralph come out in 2012?
Yes.
Jesus.
What?
I'm sorry, you can continue. I was having a
Midsummer Station is like ripping off the most popular pop genre of the time, which is the Katy Perry motivational song.
No.
But what Adam Young didn't, and the studio didn't understand about those, is the reason Katy Perry motivational songs work is because they have this really good feminist edge to it. It's about being 26 and breaking up with your longtime boyfriend and being like, you know what? fuck men, I don't need them, I can go and have fun on my own, I am empowered, and that's cool. And a lot of people needed that at that time, that's why it blew up. Adam Young is way too far Christian to have feminist and stuff. So it comes across as like, you can shine, you can do it, hang in there, cat poster. Also, the album art for Midsummer Station is literally from DeviantArt. It's this, I'll put a picture up on screen.
Did he like just steal
Look
it,
up
or-
the Midsummer Station.
I gotta look it up.
This is something you've seen in your English teacher's classroom hung up. It's because he was on
Owl City.
DeviantArt, right? Yep, Owl City, Midsummer Station. And he saw this image and was like, this looks so cool and I think the kids like it. So he messaged the artist and asked them to use it in his album. This album is trying so hard to appeal to everybody, and it succeeded and made a lot of money.
Oh my god.
Now,
He wasn't lying.
Oh my god.
so this had some really bad effects on Adam Young, because first of all, his fan base changed. Remember how I said it was like Katy Perry but more Christian? Ed, you grew up in a Christian house. You know how Christian musicians love to be that band but Christian?
Yeah.
So Owl City blew up in the Christian market. All of a sudden,
Finally.
every Bible store had Owl City CDs everywhere. And something I should mention is that one of the other reasons I loved Owl City is because I'm Christian, and he would write songs about Christianity and other, like, throughout his stuff, but it wasn't like annoying, I love Jesus, no substance songs. It was like, look, in middle school I was depressed and I was able to reorient my life through Bible study, and that was a good thing for me because it gave me something to work towards. And I was like, yay! Christian things that say something and have a point and sound vaguely good. And as a young 14-year-old Christian artist who really had trouble navigating those two identities, that was really helpful to me. When he became a big Christian star, the audience lost that like really nice positive glow and was all about how, see how he doesn't do drugs and alcohol? This is a role model. He's better than all this pop music trash. And there was weird homophobic comments littering these sections, and it was bad.
God.
There was an incident where he went on stage and he clearly looked drunk. I don't know what really happened, but he was like kind of wobbling around, right? Which I would believe he would drink for the first time at this point because he was going under a ridiculous amount of stress from Disney. And so all of a sudden people in the comments blew up saying, no, he doesn't drink or do alcohol, you guys are idiots. And they invented this whole story about his leg getting hit 3 days earlier by a truck just to explain why he wobbled on stage.
He doesn't do alcohol.
And just the extent to which his fan base was crazy over this was scary. Also, at this point, Adam Young's life is kind of collapsing. So, I heard from one of my teachers who claimed to work on one of his sets at this time. This is hearsay, but I trust this teacher with my life, and I would believe it. He yelled at one of the violinists and said, "You are too fat to be on my stage."
Oh no!
Now, I really believe
Jinx.
this happened because...
Hey, Tyler,
yeah.
you might want to re-say that so you can cut that so you don't say you got it from a teacher. Because that's a little traceable. This is kind of obvious what teacher it would be.
No,
I don't.
Guys,
Nobody knows his teachers.
How would I get in trouble?
I just don't
Some
want to
random fucker.
No one knows who my teacher
I went to high school with you, and I know exactly what teacher.
So
God.
she subscribed to your YouTube channels, and I don't think she'd be happy if she heard you say that. But whatever.
Anyways.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's all kind of falling down. Also, this is when Firefly becomes a meme. Because all of a sudden people are thinking about Owl City again. It's been about 3 years, so like that kid nostalgia is kicking in.
Yeah.
And so he's really trying to pander to who his target audience is, right? And he's starting to think that it's Christian, random, like 14-year-olds on the internet. So Ultraviolet comes out. This is the furry album.
The what? What? I did not expect that phrase to come out of your mouth in South City like
Features
that.
the song Wolf Bites with the music video of people dressing up in wolf costumes, dancing like
Oh my-
this,
Oh my
and riding
fucking
bikes around town. Every song on this album is about being really, really depressed.
Nice.
Which is both a reflection of Adam Young being sad as fuck during this period of his life, and also him trying to appeal to the people he sees on DeviantArt posting about his stuff.
Which is why it's furry.
Yes!
Ah, I see.
I love the subplot that is him being like at least semi-active on DC.
And then 2018 rolls around.
So, 2014, this was the first Owl City album that I like knew was coming up and was excited and listened to it the night it came out. I had it pre-ordered.
Aww.
And when I opened it and it was furry shit, I was like devastated. I was so upset. I felt betrayed. Lindsey Sterling got dragged into this one, by the way. Lindsey Sterling plays the violin.
The violin dubstep.
Yeah, in a song about how depressing life is with Owl City. Beautiful times.
I love Lindsey Sterling. I miss that.
Remember Miss Zaporowski used to play player stuff all the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I introduced Miss Zaporowski to Owl City. I apologize to all of you. Alright.
How did I just miss that existed?
Then Mobile Orchestra comes out. Mobile Orchestra is a mess of an album. Like, all of these were bad, but at least they were cohesively bad. This one has a few, like, shitty Katy Perry trying to be motivational songs. It has a few trying to write middle school poetry songs, but it doesn't have any of the charm in it because, like, it's clearly being soullessly produced. Then there's the graduation empowerment song about how great it is to graduate and the future can be yours. Then there's a song about how much he loved growing up in the 90s. It's really trying to cash in on 90s nostalgia, and he just Mad Lib mentions things that happened in that decade.
At this point, how much is it? Is it still him doing all of the music, or does he have like a team?
He never had a team. He's writing all of his music the entire time because he has Asperger's and is really on top of that stuff.
All this talk about like him making some motivational songs reminds me of Uncle Adam. Yeah.
Is he still with Disney at this time?
He's not with Disney, but he's still with the same record company. He never leaves them, and his image is permanently changed by it. Also during this time, he releases a few things really pander to his Christian audience. He forms this band called Windsor Airlift with his church group, which is actually really cute. It's like a bunch of people who can't play music and him being like the rock star who lives in their small conservative town trying to make Christian post-rock sounds.
Okay,
It's cute.
That's great. That's it.
Adam Youngspores releases something called The Final Days of the Civil War, in which he plays like melancholic tunes and reads quotes from Robert E. Lee in grand voices.
Interesting.
Okay.
He releases a song about how much he loves his dad and how important Father's Day is, and it has this really weird, right-leaning, conservative dads are the best energy to it.
Interesting.
Anyways, Mobile Orchestra is a mess of an album. I can't even figure out what... Oh, there's love songs on this one. He has 2 love songs. One is about a really unhealthy relationship that's not supposed to be like that.
Uh-oh.
He's talking about, like, how he needs this love in his life and how he would, like, basically kill himself if she wasn't around.
Oh my god.
The other one is called I Found Love, and it's about him meeting his 16-year-old girlfriend in high school, and how she's gone now.
I thought that was going in a completely different direction.
No.
I thought the 16-year-old girlfriend was current.
Nope, it's not.
Now he's 16-year-old.
It's not
That scared the
Christian.
shit out of me.
And it's about how she died, and I was so sad, and I was so sad. How did it end so fast? I've got no point in living anymore. I don't have a lot left, and I say with my last breath, it's a perfect day to float away.
Oh.
The comments are, most beautiful love song I've ever heard. So inspiring. God has clearly touched your voice, Adam. So there's this weird atmosphere of the fans never listening to him, and this is the album I saw in concerts. I never listened to this album before because I didn't know it existed. I was expecting to hear Ultraviolet and Midsummer Station when I went to this concert with my mom. I'll get you wrong. I went in and listened to him sing about how sad he was and how he wanted to die. And listened to the crowd cheer and say, "Praise the Lord."
Man.
Yeah!
Oh my fucking god. This is like some morbid twist on Hey Ya.
Right?
What's that, Roland?
Wait, yeah, you know about Hey Ya, right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it to the fans real quick?
Oh, yeah,
Step up here.
Okay, let me do a quick...
Tell people why Hey Ya is such a fucking depressing song and why Eden covering it was a bad idea.
So Hey Ya...
Covered Hey Ya?
Yes.
Wait,
He covered Hey Ya?
Eden.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, Hey Ya is a song by Andre 3000, and I forgot the band's name.
Big Boy, they made Outkast.
Oh, yeah, Outcast, right? So they made the song itself is intentionally made with this really cheery tune, but it's about how like these
Love
two
is
people,
dead.
how love is dead, and there's not really a point to it, and they're like him and his girlfriend aren't really feeling together anymore. And one of the lyrics in the song is, "You don't want to hear me, you just want to dance."
It's very depressing. Sit down, Roland.
I'm sorry. Ed
You
should
broke
have been
the
the
camera.
one.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Ed should have been the one to do that.
Fix the camera.
All right.
I like the enthusiasm. You just jumped over it. It was really good.
Yeah, I love doing
So
this.
mobile orchestra.
Your
Didn't
entire
do
face is
well.
cut off.
It did well enough to keep him going though, because at this point he's really found this Christian micro bubble. He's releasing Christian songs now. There's one called My Everything that's literally just him saying God is my everything over and over
There
and
it
over.
is.
And he's devolved into the everything he said he wouldn't be when he first rebelled against the record company. He is a like poppy, figureheady, motivational speaky, sang about drugs and alcohol kind of back then, and is now doing soulless Christian music. His passion projects are now starting to turn into things to reinforce the audience he already has, so these aren't really fun anymore. They're all taking a Christian bent.
Oh.
Then Cinematic starts coming out.
Oh boy.
Now, Cinematic, he wanted to do something different with it. So there's 18 songs on this album. The way he released it was, in the months upcoming, he would release one song at the beginning of the month, and then 2 songs later, and you'd wait 3 months and he'd do it again. You'd get 3 months of this, right? So you'd get 9 songs before the album comes out as a preview, and then you could buy the album.
Oh, so it's like a Gorilla Song Machine type
Yeah,
thing.
but it's this really convoluted release plan that nobody understood. He also had this big, like, music video contest where if you win, he would put your music video in a musical he was gonna make from this album. That didn't happen.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, no. The musical did get made, and we will get into that.
But then whoever won
Yeah.
was not. Wow.
But I didn't win, so fuck it, I don't care.
Okay.
Wait, you entered?
Wait, you.
Of course I entered!
Where can you find this video?
Can we see it?
In the recesses of one of my hard drives somewhere.
If you can find it, it will be up here.
If we find it, we'll have to put it on the
Yeah.
picture or something. I'm not proud of this. This is back when I thought I wanted to be an animator.
Oh. Wait, you wanted to be an animator?
Wait, yeah, actually.
Okay,
Why
this is
did
a
you stop?
sidetrack, but the reason I said I wanted to be an animator was because I had crippling social anxiety from like 9th to 10th grade,
Yeah.
and I couldn't ask
As it
people to
is.
be in my film. And like
Oh,
I would like be scared of it, so it's like, well, if I'm gonna do projects, I'm just gonna do it by myself, so I can animate.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I was shit at animating because I didn't care about animation or illustration. Once I like got over it and asked people, I was a lot happier. But anyways, Owl City, bad animation. So, the first song that comes out on Cinematic, the first like teaser song is called All My Friends, and it is a country song.
Oh no!
Now, something I about that here, Owl City did all genres of music before he found his dream pop niche. This was screamo.
Oh.
This is like
Jackson Flores, bro.
Brother Reed, You Messed With My Afro is him trying to sound black.
Oh.
New Dallas is a country album.
Ooh.
Goodbye, Dubai.
Was it spelled like that, or was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Did anyone watch that Dubai as a parody of the 21st Century
Yes.
video? It's pretty good.
Did he like wrestling?
pretty
'Cause
good.
I see like suplex, I see pile driver, I
Spinning.
see.
No, he was inspired by that music scene that had a lot of like wrestling sounds to it.
What the wrestling sounds?
Wrestling sound time.
Like, Jackson, can you help me out here? Like a bunch of groups had boxing and wrestling stuff in their song titles and in their band titles to have this weird masculine feel to it.
What?
I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, I
what
believe
does
you,
what
but
does it
it's
sound
okay.
like?
Music.
Oh, sound is just shitty 16-year-olds making indie music.
That could be anything though.
But like
Yeah.
early 2000s,
There's a lot of
the EDM scene of 16-year-olds making stuff on Mixcraft.
So like
Yeah.
Dreamscape kind of?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, this is a country song. This is the first time you see comments criticizing Owl City and Owl City video.
no.
Now, why does this happen? I think part of it's because while Christians don't know what pop is supposed to sound like, they know what country music is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
And they lit him up. Most of those comments are deleted now. He turned off all comments in all of his Vivo videos after this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's sad.
But the rest of the album is actually really good.
What was wrong with the video itself?
There was no video. There was just the song.
It
It
was
was
just the song.
really bad because he never hit puberty. So it's just like weird high-pitched screech.
So it was like if you made a country song.
Yes, it'd be like if I made a country song.
What's the song called?
All My Friends.
Okay.
Your voice isn't that bad, Tyler. It's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So cinematic is him going through different moments in his life, in different spaces, and really like revisiting his past. Except instead of it just being him, there's this girl with him, and she almost got hit by a car, but she didn't. So instead they're all going in a car together and living these life moments together. And there's this very clear, awkward energy about the song. Until we get to one of the very last ones on the track called Be Brave. This is a song about when he first asked her out. And he said, like, I had crippling social anxiety. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even walk over and ask for her name. But eventually I told myself I have to be brave, and I did it. By the end of the song, he's saying, and you know this isn't how it happened. Things went bad, and I was on the kitchen floor crying, depressed, but I got better. Because I had to learn to be brave and move on without her. And there's this beautiful line where he says, I looked at the stars, and for the first time in my life I was understood. Because it was just him and God, and he realized that he needed to focus on something productive that he loved. That's when he really started going into music, he said. And it was really, he said, this is the moment that really dominated the rest of my life. And then he has this really cheesy song after that called Cinematic, which is named the album. It's about your life is a movie, go on.
Write your own ending.
Yeah, like, it feels stupid, but given the context of the song that came immediately before, it didn't feel as heartless as his other motivational songs, because it was like he's trying to say something, and this is really him talking to himself.
Wait, so the song was about the moment where he like had to choose to let go of his girlfriend, but was the moment he had to let go of his girlfriend like in the past, or was it?
He said it was in the past because that's what let him move on to Ocean Eyes to make that.
But wasn't he still?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's retrospective, it's meta.
Okay.
So after this, he does date again.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Finally, I feel like Cinematic was really him working through that in himself, bringing out the therapy and imagining what his life would have been like and how he wanted it to be. And once he could put that out there, he could finally move on. He hasn't made any music since this came out.
Okay.
And he's dating someone he knew for a while who helps him take pictures for these. It's cute. So what is his future like? What is he doing? Well, on his YouTube channel, he has been constantly re-releasing Fireflies. Over and over and over.
What do you mean by a re-release? Just posting the same song or remaking it?
I don't think he's remaking because I've listened to that song so many times, and if it was remastered, especially because I took a lot of audio courses, I think I would hear it. It's the literal same MP4, I think. And he just changes the thumbnail. So there's the early 2000s version, there's the 2000s Nostalgia edition, there's the Dream Pop Celebration edition.
Does he do it, or does whoever like owns the Vivo
It might be whoever does the Vivo do it. It's unclear.
Yeah, I think that with Vivo channels, sometimes the creator themselves is in charge, but a lot of the times it's somebody else.
Yeah.
So I do wonder.
On his website, he's starting to sell some really zany merch. There's Owl City Silly Bands, and I was bought some for this lecture, but I thought, I'm not buying fucking Silly Bands.
I would buy silly
I literally
bands.
would have pitched in money. I would have taken one home.
So yeah, Owl City had a really rough time with it, but it sounds like he's kind of getting better, and the fact that he's not making music, I think, is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
It seems like it could also be a case of like you have this thing that you're passionate about, and then you do it, or you're being made to do it so often that it just completely loses its initial appeal to you as an artist and a creator.
So this is pretty much the end of the lecture, but there's a few things I wanted to mention that there was no place that they naturally fit in. First, when I said he was an only child, that might not be true. There's rumors that he has a sister named Ivy, but I can't confirm it or find anything about it, and he says he was a lone child in interviews, so...
That would be fucked up
He
if he
killed her.
actually has...
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to tell you what on here is worth listening to.
Okay.
Slam dance!
Ocean Eyes is probably like the most quintessential Owl City album. If you're going to listen to anything, listen to these. Aquarium's crazy because he literally does Screamo in this.
Does it sound good with his voice?
Early
It sounds funny. It does sound good, but it's hilarious. And there's like, he uses Mixcraft sounds and loops. So if you add you will hear it.
Yeah, if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, you'll know it instantly.
Oh boy.
Insect Airport is a completely instrumental album, and as a result, it's pretty good.
These are some really good band names,
Yeah,
by the way.
they're really
really
creative.
good.
I enjoyed them.
Where's Dubai? Dubai sounds really cool.
Riders
Yeah.
of Rohan.
Dolphin
That's
Park,
fucking
like from fucking
dope.
I think that's what he tried to do. Sky Sailing is really cute because this one was when he was 17, and you can hear it, and he never meant to release it. This is where his celebrity crush on Audrey Hepburn happened in. These are all songs about just like weird things he was passionate about that were just for him to help him sleep, and then later he released it, and it's really cute, and it's considered like his best side project.
The Wellington Giggle Bomb Experience.
His Fall Out Boy cover band.
Can you zoom in on that?
That's like, dude, I know bands that have like band names like that. Do we know what that is? Tyler?
Yeah, that's what that
What
is.
is that?
I don't know that one.
You don't?
A lot of these are very hard to find.
Yeah.
Like the one where he pretends to be black, there are no copies online except
Yeah.
this one person who mixes the songs with other pop songs in this weird like mashup YouTube thing. So if you want to hear him, you just have to listen to him and pretend not to hear the other
So
song.
you were able to get that impression just from hearing snippets of it mixed with other things. Whoa.
Join the dark side, you knob. There's also where's it? Can you smell what the rack is cooking?
How half
Rock.
Nelson
The Rock.
flying corkscrew clothesline.
Nuclear suplex. Novel. Yar.
Also, the only good Owl City
Yeah, what the fuck
music
is
videos
PR?
really are. There's this person, 8 Sack for Life, and she would make crayon drawings and stop motion animate them along with the lyrics, and they're really cute. And I would watch those instead of any music video he ever produces.
Yeah.
This has been the Owl City Lecture, everyone.
Shaka you! Shaka you! Shaka you! Shaka you!
What?
Why is there 4 next to Oceanize and 3 next to
Those are the number of points I had to remember to go after those came out, because when I rehearsed, I kept
Oh.
forgetting things.
I wanna know what slang
Alright.
dances.
Noted.
Real quick, addendum, something I forgot to mention. So the musical, right?
Okay.
This was him working as a night janitor and then meeting a girl and her almost getting hit by a car, but instead of her getting hit by the car, they drove off together, and that like sets up the story of the album.
Oh.
It's really cringy, shot terribly, yeah. That's the beginning. He just took different music videos and stitched them together and called it his musical.
Is that him?
No.
Okay. I thought
That looks a lot like how he used to look when Fireflies came out.
Yeah, like the guy in this video is like moderately attractive, so I'm like, no way. Stop.
Oh.
It sounds like Playboy Tees!
Alright, this is the real ending. Shocky you. Good, subscribe and stuff.
Oh, you've been recording the whole time.
Oh, he went, yeah!